Hey guys, it's 𝗪𝗏𝗡𝗚 here, and welcome back to another build challenge. So, as you can tell from the title of today's video, we will be building a micro home in The Sims 4. But of course, you guys know me, there is a really big twist. Even though this is going to be the smallest lot type in The Sims 4, we will actually be using the most expensive objects in-game. Now, unfortunately, I don't have all of the Sims 4 DLC, but I will be using all of the most expensive options I can find with the packs that I do have installed currently. Now, apart from that, I don't really have any other build restrictions, but honestly, you guys, I am very concerned about some of the weird objects in this game, but we're going to cross our fingers and hope for the best with this. All right, so starting us off, let us get some walls down like so. I don't really have a set style in mind because I don't really know what the most expensive options and objects are currently, so this could be fairly interesting. It could also be a complete disaster for all I know, but we will see how things go. All right, so looking at the wallpapers right now, I could choose the most expensive option in each category, or I could just go for the most expensive overall. So if I do that, we start from 0 and work our way down, and we eventually get to here? Is this right? 13. Okay, 13 is winning so far. We have 12, we have $9, we have $5, and we have 13 again. So it looks like the clinical panels from Get to Work are winning. I'm not really sure what this house is going to look like, but I'm scared. I'm scared, you guys. I usually play it safe and do more of a beige tone, so we could do something like this. But I do like this darker tone as well. It is very metallic though, so I may change my mind on that. Ooh, we do have these trims as well, and I guess the most expensive option would probably be any of these right here. So I could maybe do seasons if I wanted a little bit of something here. Ooh, maybe all black like this. This could be kind of cool. Maybe a little bit more futuristic. I will leave off the trims because I don't think they're fitting with the vision. And let us go back to the roofs, which unfortunately are just $0, but they're all the most expensive option and also the cheapest option at the same time, so I think it'll be okay. All right, I'm thinking possibly a slanted roof like this, and then possibly some smaller ones as well. All right, let's put you maybe over here, kind of mirroring the angle like this, and then one more on this side just like that. All right, and for the roof material, I think these are all $0 somehow, which I really don't understand. But I guess it leaves us a lot of freedom to use whatever we like. So I think for now, maybe I just will go maybe all black like this with a sheet metal roof. And I do believe the trims are also $0. So yeah, that makes my life easier. All right, do foundations cost anything? I don't think they do. We're in the $0 club, which is great if we're working on a budget, but we're really trying to blow the bank here. So this is not really cutting it. I'm kind of almost getting stilt vibes for this house. So let me see if I can find that option. All right, so now if we add in the staircase, let me see where I want to place things in here because the space is limited. If I put the staircase over here, it should give us enough room to navigate. So let's do this. I'm going to change the color to match the house. All right, and for the railings, they thankfully are different prices. And I guess the most expensive option we have is also the industrial railing again, which is absolutely fitting. All right, not too shabby so far. It's very futuristic. I'm getting into the future vibes from The Sims 3. For doors, I'm a little bit concerned. I do want to do possibly a single door because this is a very small space. And the most expensive single door is this one? 505. Oh, goodness. What is with the Get to Work pack, you guys? Why is everything so expensive in this game? We do have these $700 if we wanted a double door, which could do the trick. I just don't think we have a lot of space in this build. Otherwise, it would be kind of fun to have something different. All right, for the windows, let us see what we have. If we go all the way to the bottom, we have this for $365. And I think that is the most expensive one, which we could do. It actually is not too bad of a size, so I think we could actually use this all around. All right, do we have any kind of awning we can use? I'm not really sure. We do have these sort of add-on balcony or terrace pieces, which are $650. So that's okay, I guess. It doesn't really fit with the style, but we also don't have to use this object. I would also like something like this, sort of an awning. And for the most expensive awning, let us see what we have available. 300, 300, 300, and 415. Okay, so we do have this option. But stylistically, it just does not go with this house at all, so I'm afraid we may have to leave it behind, you guys. It just doesn't really make sense here. If we wanted some kind of landscaping, the most expensive tree we have is, let us see, 270 for the Jungle Adventure Ficus. What is this house, you guys? This looks like some kind of deep jungle scientific facility. Maybe that's what I'm going for here. I'm going to ride with it. I'm going to ride with that. You know what, you guys? I'm going to roll with it. It does not make sense in this world whatsoever, but it's part of the challenge, so I'm going to try to make this thing work. If not the trees, what do we have for shrubs? We do have these, again, from Island Living, being the most expensive option. So there is that. I'm not really sure if there is something else we could use. We do have these bushes for, yes, 210, which is interesting. All right, guys, this challenge is way weirder than I anticipated, because these object choices are interesting. So I will take this lot over to Sulani, and I will rejoin you guys momentarily. Alright guys, we have officially relocated to Sulani, and I think this house is starting to fit a little bit better with its environment. I am going for that high-tech conservationist, high-tech environmentalist, rainforest jungle facility. One of those things. One of those things is going to stick, and I think I will do my best to make it fit with the world. So with that being said, I will recolor this once more, and I will try to go for a slightly warmer palette this time. We could actually do a green tone like this if we wanted something a little bit more in tune with nature. Ooh, we could even do this and actually have some roofing from Eco Lifestyle. That could be a very interesting look. I could even go back to maybe the brown like this. This could be a possibility. Okay, it's almost there. It's a weird house, you guys. I am so sorry. All right, and going back to the plants, let me see what we have available. We do have these two bushes, which are thankfully the same price, so that does allow us to use both of them if we wanted to. Ooh, do I like this option better, though? The red is a little bit strong. It doesn't really go with the rest of the build. I don't really mind some of these brighter, more tropical tones. So we could do a pink, we could do a nice warm yellow like this. For flowers, what do we have available? Oh, we have these giant walls. Not really what I wanted. I wanted some kind of, you know, nice standing flower like this. All right, here is an interesting question. What is the most expensive tile we have in game? So I think the most expensive option is this for $20, which is actually not too bad. We could do a little bit of a walkway with them, as weird as it may look. It's not the worst thing in the world, I will say that. Okay, I don't really mind that too much. The other thing I could actually do is use the terrain paints, and just looking through them, I think they are all $0. So let me do that. I will actually delete these tiles instead and actually do some terrain paints around the build itself. Alright, if we are thinking tropical, if we are thinking the jungle, I do want to do maybe a warmer soil like this, sort of a mixture between clay and sand perhaps. I'm going to paint some along the foliage and also a walkway as well. Honestly, you guys, it makes my life so much easier knowing that these are all $0 because it gives me a lot of options to choose from. I think I'm also going to mix in some more of the base game textures as well, just trying to give the lot a little bit more of a sandy look, just like the world itself. Alright, and to complete the walkway, I think we could use this option, kind of a more stony texture if you will. Now, funny enough, we actually have the option to use rocks, which are $20, $40, $50, $70, $90, $110, $120, and then $160. So we do have this option from Snowy Escape, which is kind of interesting. I guess I can put a few of them around, and if I can change the soil texture, that would be even better. Now, are we making questionable design choices? Absolutely, but we are here for it. We are here for the challenge and all the weirdness that comes with it. All right, I think that is pretty much it for the very funky rocks. I do actually want to add a small pond out towards the front, so let me go ahead and do that. Now, I will say, you guys, I think the water options will probably be the same amount of money, so that should give us a lot of freedom overall. All right, and for the water types, we have $4 for 48. 4 to 48. That was a huge jump. What happened? All right, so we do jump in price, and we go all the way up to 56 from the Get Together pack, the Swimming in Sparklies. So let us see how this looks like, and it's actually not too bad. It actually looks fairly natural with the lot itself. Unfortunately, I can't really cover this with foliage. I will try my best to kind of smooth out the terrain just a little bit, but I do like the addition of the ponds themselves. All right, so if we go over here to the outdoor water decor, the most expensive option we have for actual foliage would probably be this from the base game, surprisingly. So we do have this if we want some kind of foliage within the ponds themselves, which I do definitely want. So let me use these. All right, perfect. This should do the trick just like this. And can I change the color? Unfortunately not, but it'll do. It will do. Honestly, you guys, I don't know if it bugs you, but I really wish I could have put some nice foliage and rocks along these borders. But within the parameters of this challenge, unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. So I think this is the best I can do with our little ponds. We do need an outdoor trash and mailbox. So if I go to the mailboxes, let us see what we have available. All right, and the most expensive option is none of them. They're all $0. So this is perfect. I'm not really sure what is going to fit with this type of house. I almost want to do maybe something like this from Snowy Escape and just place it over by the door just like this. All right, for the trash bin, I feel like these will be different prices. And are they? Yes, absolutely. The most expensive trash can we have is this one? $1,200? I will say the option does look very high-tech. We are in a very science facility type of house, so I guess it makes sense. And I guess I'll just put it maybe inside, actually, maybe as part of the kitchen. All right, let's actually move in now. We did find the most expensive flooring, which I believe was the dark brown parquet flooring. I hope I'm saying that right. All right, let's do the dark brown for now, just like this. And for the most expensive wallpaper, unfortunately, it is this one once more if we're trying to be very technical about this. So let me go ahead and place these down like this. All right, we definitely need some of the essentials down over here. We do need a kitchen along this wall probably. And I believe this is the most expensive fridge for $14,000. All right, here we go. Let's do the gray option for now and also get the matching counters maybe. All right, it's actually looking like these base game options are the most expensive, which is something I really did not expect in this game, but here we are. I will put two just like that. We do need the stove, which I think will probably be this one again with the matching set. All right, for the most expensive sink, we could do this in two different ways. We could do the most expensive sink unit, which would be one of these objects, or just the individual sink as well. So if we did this, $370 would be the most expensive individual sink. And then the most expensive sink unit would probably be this one for $500. So we do have those options available. And for lighting, let me see what we do have available. The most expensive wall sconce would be maybe this option for $355, which actually does fit the look of this house. So I'll do one maybe about here and maybe another one over here as well. Now, if we wanted hanging lights, we would technically do this one for $425, which is kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie, you guys. I think they do work better kind of shrunken down. So perhaps maybe in more of the bedroom space. I will also use these in the bedroom for the time being. and hopefully find other matching objects that are also very expensive. Oh no, this is so bad, you guys, because the door situation is plaguing us here. Unfortunately, we also have some clipping action, but hopefully I can cover it with a column. And it looks like the most expensive option is, again, the Get to Work pack. I don't really know what is up with the pricing here, but at least it covers up the door a little bit, so I could use something like this and just color it accordingly. Oh, it's also clipping too much over here as well. Maybe I delete this window and delete this bush and then move it over like this. And then maybe the door can go along here. And then the mailbox should now be accessible, I hope. All right, let us take a look. All right, not too bad so far. We are a little bit sparse on the windows, but I think it'll have to do. I could almost do a window up here. It does kind of intersect with the light, but that can easily be deleted. So maybe if I situate one just ever so slightly above the door like this, we could have more light in that way. All right, you guys, I made the executive decision. I'm actually going to take out this window. The only windows on this side will be this one and possibly a duplicate as well. Thankfully, they do actually clip into each other fairly nicely, so they do create a more interesting design this way. All right, back into the laboratory, here we go. We are looking for a bed, so we can do either a single bed or a bunk bed or a double bed, so we do have a lot of options available. The most expensive single bed we have would be, let us see, $8,500. Which stylistically, it does not work at all, but it is there. If we do the most expensive double bed, we will be looking at this option for $12,000. Which again does not fit at all. Now we do have another category of beds, which is the Murphy bed, which would be $2,000, but it's very cramped. We don't really have a lot of space here. I could maybe do it this way, and I think your Sims can use this. So this is a possibility. All right, and for the most expensive rug, we officially have this option, the base game Living in Color rug, which honestly is not too bad. It's a little bit funky, it's not too easy to use in builds, but if you go for more of a neutral swatch, it could really do the trick here. All right, what about mirrors? We could do a standing mirror, we could do a wall-mounted mirror like this. Again, we do have options. The most expensive standing mirror would be this for $790, so there's that. All right, and the most expensive wall-mounted option would be this one for $975, which is really not fitting with this house, so we may have to go without a mirror here, unfortunately. Do we need a dresser? I think we do. I hope I can fit one in here. All right, most expensive dresser is this one for $1,480. It is the same price as this one, so let me use this option. Do we want an exit to the backyard? I think we do. I'm just not really sure how this is going to work with this layout. I could actually shift the door over a little bit this way, and thankfully there isn't really any clipping. Let me maybe do the fridge here. I'll grab another counter for this corner area. Honestly, the bathroom is going to determine what spacing we do have available, but thankfully we can either choose the shower or the tub situation, so we do have options here. All right, so the most expensive tub is $12,000, which is this one, which does look pretty neat. We also have a standing shower for $2,800, so we do have this option here, which is very fitting for this build. Again, it's the Get to Work pack once more, which I think is totally insane, but here we go. All right, back to the sinks. If we did a standing unit this time, it would unfortunately be this, but I could do the most expensive counter with the most expensive sink, and that should do the trick. And the most expensive toilet is probably this one for $2,000. We also have this one for $2,000 as well from the City Living pack, so I think this actually works fairly well. It's still very high tech, which is perfect. And yeah, just like that. All right, now unfortunately, the most expensive mirror that is wall mounted is this one. So this is not really going to work. I could do maybe the most expensive medicine cabinet. I don't really think I have a lot of options to choose from, but it is something if I wanted something to hang on the wall. The most expensive cabinet would technically be this one. This is more of a standing unit versus one that is wall mounted, so I'm not really sure how that is going to work here. What I could also do if I don't want to mess around with technicalities is I could also pull the most expensive towel rack. So that could be maybe something like this if we're looking for something for the wall. And this would be 170 over here. Thankfully, the most expensive toilet paper roll is just one because I do not have the other kit. So here we go, just like that. Out of curiosity, what is going to be the most expensive piece of wall art? It officially is this one for $8,000, which is really beautiful, but it doesn't really fit with the build. So I think I will just have to go without it. Ooh, we still need a place to actually get out to the backyard. So I think what I'll actually have to do is modify the shape of this bathroom. I'm going to build a little bit of an opening over here, just like this, and then move the toilet next to the shower instead. All right, apply it like so. And do we need more toilet paper? Yes, we do. Put that along the wall over here. All right, and now the door should work. Let's put it just like that. And let me see if I can actually duplicate these stairs over going out to the backyard. All right, we do have a nice little exit there. I will say we do need some outdoor lights as well. So I could borrow some of the interior lights if we do want some outside. And I think I will actually go ahead and shrink them down ever so slightly because they are pretty large. So maybe something like this and another one on this side as well. All right, we still need our little dining area. So let me see if I can actually fit it outside if the options are viable enough. All right, better yet, let me actually go to the outdoor section and see what the most expensive picnic table is or any other kind of dining table meant for outdoors. The most expensive option we have would probably be this one for $525. So that is the option we are working with. And the most expensive outdoor dining chair would probably be this for $300. I think that's right. Kind of deviates from the style, but we do have to abide by the rules as much as possible, so I think that'll have to do the trick, unfortunately. It would be nice to get a nice umbrella because it does look pretty hot in Sulani. So if we wanted the most expensive umbrella, it would be this option from the Get Together pack. So we could do maybe something like this. I think this arrangement can actually work. You can get in from every side, to my knowledge, unless the umbrella is obstructing it. I don't know. I'm probably not going to be playtesting it, but I will leave it there for now. On another note, what do we have for the most expensive grill or barbecue? It looks like we could do this option from the Desert Luxe pack for $1,300. All right, I do think we can add in some planter boxes, so let me see what we have available. And going down the list, what is the most expensive planter box? If I could find you guys, that would be wonderful. I think it's actually this vertical garden for $365 because everything beneath it is definitely cheaper. So we could do a few of these vertical gardens like this. Ooh, we could have a painting station out here. The most expensive easel, let us take a look. We do have this option from base game. We have this one from base game. And we also have these two as well. So we do have a few different options here. All right, this one is $2,300 and we go down in price from there. So it looks like this one is the clear winner. So let us do that. Do we have some kind of outdoor furniture? What would be the most expensive bench or sofa that we have? We could even do the most expensive lounge chair because we do have a lot of options. So we have 50, we have 65, 80, 200, 200, and 445. So I think this is our most expensive lounge chair from the base game, no less. Maybe a few of these, maybe over here like this, one over here, and another one over here. All right, I think these do the trick here, kind of looking out into the forest. And maybe some kind of accent table, perhaps. I'm not really sure what is going to be the most expensive option, but it's this one, unfortunately, for $350, which, again, does not fit the look of this house. I could do the most expensive coffee table instead, which looks like it's actually this one, which is not perfect, but it actually kind of works. Honestly, I'm just going to assume that this trunk has more scientific equipment. That is the only way I can make sense out of this situation. But as you can see, I do want some kind of tabletop music device here. And of the options we have, it looks like 𝗧𝗛𝗓𝗓. Is it 𝗧𝗛𝗓 that is the most expensive? Or is it this one, the Lindsay smart speaker? I'm pretty sure it's this option. I don't think I've ever used it in my game before, but I will use this option here. Unfortunately, this easel is very lonely, so I want to see if there is a plant I can put next to it. But of course, I have to go for the most expensive indoor plant, which is this bamboo. This actually works great. I do like bamboo. It looks very strange next to it though, so I'm not really sure what to do with this. Can I place this in another part of the build that does not look weird? I think maybe I can. I'm just not really finding the perfect spot for it just yet. Perhaps I could put some along the wall over here. That may not be too bad. So I could do it sized up. That could be kind of interesting. I could also use the smaller variation like this, which I do believe is the default size. So there is this option, which is not too bad. Well, I guess at the end of the day, it's a little bit of something extra in this build because our options today, you guys, they were really bad. They were really bad. I am going to bring back some of the bamboo over here as well, just as little tiny accents along the wall. All right, so I do want to spice up the outside just a little bit. We do have only one option that we can use. However, there are other swatches, and I think this green will work great. I could do little accent walls like this, just to add a little bit more diversity to the build. I will see if I can do the same thing on the inside because this rusted red is not really my favorite. I could do more green like this, and I think it actually helps the build look a little bit better in my opinion. These counters though, I'm not really feeling them. They're not really a style I like. I could go maybe a little bit lighter on them if I wanted to. Let's do maybe this and this perhaps. That's not too bad. All right, same thing on the towel. You are too dark now. I could do maybe a white option like this with a little bit of a sort of warm gold tone. I did forget to fix these windows because they were not situated correctly. You were not able to look out and people could look into your house instead. So great job, Townie. Great job. Going back outside now, I'm not really too sure about the roof now. Let me try actually spinning this around like so and see how that looks. All right, I think I am liking the shape of the roof a little bit better now. It feels more carefully asymmetrical, if that makes sense. Let me see if we can actually replace some of the texture as well, because I'm not really too sure about this grass anymore. So let me see if there is a better option. All right, I'm going to be daring you guys. I'm going to use these glass ceiling pieces instead. And I think they'll give your Sims a really cool view of the sky. I do want to clean up some of the intersections though, so let me go ahead and do that and just refine the roof pieces just like so. All right, so going back into the kitchen, I think we do need something over here, and I think a coat rack could do the trick. Now, unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of options to work with, but in terms of base game, these two would be the most expensive objects. So I guess I could do this one along the wall over here like this, and I think that could be a nice little entryway moment. The last thing I want to do now is just fix up the walkway. I don't really think it's working with the build anymore, so let me try out a new texture instead and just clean up the edges just like so. Alright guys, so we are pretty much done with our super expensive micro home, and honestly this was a really fun and difficult challenge. I honestly did my best to find all of the most expensive objects in each category or subcategory, and this of course is the end result. We have our super scientific eco facility, I will call it that. It looks like some kind of nature observation area, somewhere to collect research, I don't really know. But of course, it did take us to the wonderful world of Sulani, so I am not mad at it. But we had some very interesting outdoor choices. We had the most expensive trees from Jungle Adventure, the most expensive rocks from Snowy Escape, the most expensive bushes from Island Living, the most expensive indoor plants from 𝗧𝗛𝗓, and funny enough, the most expensive water from Get Together, which I don't really know what they put in there. Anyways, moving on to the build itself, it is very clear that Get to Work was the champion. It had the most expensive door, window, stairs, railing, column, and shower. So it really took the cake here. But obviously going on to the inside, there was also a lot of very expensive base game objects. So a lot of the kitchen was base game. We did have some base game stuff in the bathroom as well, and also with the dresser and rug situation. We did have the most expensive Murphy bed, obviously from the Tiny Living pack. I do think there are some in the University pack, but I'm not too sure. We did have the most expensive toilet in my game, which was also from City Living, surprisingly. Moving back to the outside now, we actually have a lot of very diverse objects here, but surprisingly, base game does take the cake. We had the most expensive easel, rug, lounge chairs, coffee table, speaker, and overall dining set. But of course, we still have the most expensive umbrella with the Get Together pack, the most expensive planter boxes from Eco Lifestyle, and of course, the most expensive grill from the Desert Luxe pack. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this challenge. I will say it was pretty challenging for me and also very eye-opening as well, seeing how weird some of the pricing was in the game itself. Now, if you do take on this challenge, I really would love to see your end result. Obviously, as players, we all have very different collections of The Sims 4, so what may be the cheapest or most expensive object in your game may not be the same for another person's game. With that said, I will catch you all in the next build challenge. And of course, just like always, this has been 𝗪𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏